that the one thing for you that you want them to do? Is it more peer mentoring? Is it something else that you've heard about on here? Out of all of these ideas, what's the one thing we want the faculty to do, and then what is a maximum of 3, but ideally 1 or 2, that you're going to do personally? But you're going to take some personal responsibility for. You know, in the same way you're asking students to take personal responsibility, you know, but you've got to be able to deliver it. And the other thing is, if you did do it, how would you know that it had been a success? So I don't need to know that, and you want to think about that, you know, if you can hit it people. So action planning for you and for the faculty. And we need you finish by 5 to 1 because I just need to sum up and I need to see that. We're just about on time. Just a few things I want to do. I'm going to pick some of these out. You need to take some time to have a look at these. These are fantastic. And the other thing I'd say is, somebody has done I will. And I think if you're doing an action plan, you put I will. Because otherwise there goes on your shopping list. It isn't I will, or I must, or something like that. But I think there's some fantastic things coming down out here. One new thing in every class. You know, explore what works best. Get my students involved. Research more on current technology in relation to our courses. You know, because if you're not up to date, we call it digital fluency. You know, if you're not digitally fluent at the moment, and things are moving so fast. So you may need to get the IT group to actually do some faculty development. But don't just spend 3 hours. Get them to do some bite-sized stuff. Get them to do an hour. You know, all of you can spare an hour. What you might not be able to do is spare half a day. It's too time-consuming. You know, cut things down to what I call bite-sized chunks. Collaborate with industry, blend theory with application, give more real-life examples, change the assessment pattern to make it more effective, create a better rapport with students to get better feedback. Masses of things, I won't go through them all, but take a look. And on the faculty side, there's a lot coming through about integration, about exploring that, about integrating modules. And that will take some working out, but it can be done very easily. The other thing is communicate, and I think underpinning all this, you've got to start developing a faculty engagement and community strategy whereby information gets cascaded to all of you, and you don't feel as isolated. In what you've demonstrated today, and put yourself in the shoes of the student again. When you came here today, you were involved in your module. You know, you think your problems, you're the only one with problems on your module. You suddenly realise that everybody else in the room is having exactly the same problems or had the problem and tried something that they solved. Use it. That's how you grow knowledge. You stand on the shoulders of other people. You know, occasionally we get breakthroughs and it's absolutely new, but most of the time in creating new knowledge, you're standing on somebody else's shoulders. You're taking that and moving on. So use each other. You know, learn from each other. Do co-mentoring, peer mentoring of each other. Choose a buddy in this room that you're going to take away and you're going to work together and support each other to take your ideas forward. So lots and lots of stuff around this. And somebody said, I want the faculty to be happy. You know, you spend a lot of time here. My philosophy is, I spend about 12 hours a day at work, between 10 and 12 hours a day. If I'm not having fun, why am I doing it? You know, I see more of my colleagues at work than I do my own family. You know, so actually, it's got to be fun. I didn't do this job just for the pay packet. I do this job because I want to make a difference I love being in education. You know, so you know, you have to ask yourself, what gives you a buzz? Why are you here? So there's those kind of things. So just before I leave you, there's some reading to take away, which we'll get. But the other thing I'll say is it's all very well having your fantastic and your innovative teaching, but there are some hygiene factors that you've got to get right before you even do the innovative stuff. And that is, you're professional in what you'll do, you're well prepared, you start your sessions on time, you turn up, you know, you're fully prepared, you've got it all organised, you've got it all taped, and you're there in the moment. I mean, remember, when you're having a day, that's the one experience they'll have with you, and that's what they'll take away. So whatever your day was like, before if you had a row at home, you know, you had a problem getting in on the bus, don't take it into the classroom. Leave it outside. They want to see somebody who's confident, who's in charge, who knows what they're doing, and is inspiring and passionate. What they don't want is somebody who's sulky, who's going in, who's grumpy, and is disorganised, and really doesn't, you know, couldn't care less whether they're not. They don't want that. They come there with the expectation that you're going to be inspirational. You're going to, you know, give them something. So actually, every experience has got to be special, really. Now, you can't always achieve that, but you can have it on the go, you know, at getting there. So that's, and you're imparting that kind of approach to them in terms of professionalism. So you live professionalism. If you're expected to be a professional when you go out in practice, you live that professionalism in the classroom. You do the very best job you can do, and if you're struggling, you don't just struggle on your own and try and cover up. You find somebody who's your best friend, or you think, actually, they're pretty good at that. I'm going to go and speak to them. Will you have a coffee with me? Will you tell me what you do? I am struggling here. I am really bad session, and I don't understand why. You know, have you got any tips to help me? How much are you mentoring new people who come into this place? Those of you who are very experienced, those of you who are getting 4 out of 5 for your teaching feedback. You know, if I knew somebody who was getting 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, I would want to be their best friend. They would be my new best friend. And I would say, I need you to tell me what you do. And also, I might get them to run a little session for a group of us, you know, so I do some peer mentoring. But they're the people I want to know. I don't want to know people who are getting 1 out of 5, you know, or if they're getting 1 out of 5, why are they getting 1 out of 5? Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to be doing what they're doing. So there's some hygiene factors that you need to think about to up the game, because the way that IILM will be judged will be on their student experience. You know, there are loads